Kev, you go.
All right. This is a good one. This is
Mhm.
one where we have two teams that I think both people or all of the country might be doubting their ability to play in the big moment, like to
Yeah.
when the lights are bright, do they shy away? But this is also one that the 3 point spread. I think this should be dead even just because it's so hard to predict which team's going to come out. Texas A&M, I believe both of their
It's three and
coordinators
a half now, just so you know.
3.5. That's interesting. But both
It
Texas
is
A&M
interesting.
coordinators have taken other jobs. I believe they're
Yep.
still, going to be coaching, but like same thing for Oregon as well, actually. So there's been a kind of pilfered coaching staff
I like
across
that
this
word.
college football playoffs. But
There's only
this,
been one team and one coach that has moved on who is not coaching, and it's the guy.
yeah, yeah,
Go ahead.
I didn't prepare like an intro for this one. I
No,
do
I
think
got
it
you.
kind of
Okay, here we
speaks
go.
for itself. You're
Well,
at
the only intro that we need, we'll take it from here, is that we have the two teams who spoiled Notre Dame's season. So I'm happy. I like both of these teams for that sole reason. Thank you for doing God's work.
God's work.
Yep. Ain't I a stinker? Okay, yeah, let me take some notes here. Look,
I was gonna say,
Miami
was that
has
the
just
intro you prepared? Very
that was
nice.
it. Yeah, that was it.
Better than
Look,
mine.
all right, let me get into some points here. I don't think Miami has been poised that great when you look at their losses this year. But if you were to look at the rosters, and I'm just looking at the vibe check here, kind of Miami, I do think has more pizzazz players, like the storyline with Carson Beck, and can play good games. He can, quote unquote. But then Malachi Tony and Ruben Bain Jr. are both like breakout star players. But I don't know, man. I think the Aggies just have a more complete roster, and that's a kind of cliche term that I've been using a lot this year. But you look at guys like Craver, Casey Concepcion, what's the defensive end's name? Cassius Howell. Like they are
Dalton
coming
Brooks.
back. What's that?
Dalton Brooks, they got good safety as
Brooks.
well.
That's right, of course. Back is here. Have this. And one thing I will say, and I'm giving my pick away kind of early, but it is what it is. I have to stick with my take that the ACC collectively was just a bad product this year, man. Hand up, ultimate accountability. And all of Miami's victories that have essentially got them here outside of Notre Dame all came in ACC wins. You know what I mean? So, Mario Cristobal, that guy is not a good game manager, Kev. He's just not. He does not come in clutch. Texas A&M has shown that they can come back and win games they are meant to. Sprinkle in the fact that they're playing in College Station. I like to think that this is going to be their first playoff experience in College Station. Those Aggie fans are going to be going nuts.
Loud
Nuts.
at 11
And
a.m. too.
I
I mean,
know.
there's a
Oh my
chance
God.
Miami walks in, gets punched in the mouth, gets screamed in their ear,
They're gonna
and they're
have the
reeling because
cop in the
they've
hall. The cop in the hall might not just shove a player this time. He might just take out the billy club and start beating him right there on the spot. I hope that doesn't come off in the wrong way. And this is also against a Miami team who, if we're being honest, they probably don't know what the sound of a home team cheering even sounds like because they won't to Miami. All right. I've given
yeah.
my pick away, Kevin. I'm not going to have anything else to go with.
I got
What do
some
you got?
stuff. Yeah, I got some stuff, and actually, I found my notes on what I've meant to be the intro for this. So, just some history on this rivalry.
Beautiful.
Miami leads their 5 meetings. They've won 3 times. Their first ever meeting, A&M beat Miami 70-14. That was back in 1944. Both
Jesus.
quarterbacks, Carson Beck and Marcel Reed, they both have 25 touchdowns and 10 INTs on the season, which is kind of an interesting coincidence. Miami's defensive backs are ball hawks. If their pass rush can come through, I think they're going to force Marcel Reed into some issues. He has thrown
Mm,
multiple interceptions in his last,
yes.
I want to say 3 games, maybe 4. But yeah, they're both also atrocious with penalties. So I
Yeah.
think that's one where I think Texas A&M will do better because they are the home team. I could see Miami getting 3 or 4 false starts, illegal shifts, delay of games, stuff like that that could really hurt a drive. Um, And yeah, the only other note, I kind of put Texas A&M similar to Alabama with their offense, where they need to have a hint of a run game for their pass game to go wild.
I like
Um,
that. Yeah, yeah.
and people say Miami's run defense is really good, which it is. However, Virginia Tech was able to run for I think a buck 80 on them. So there is a blueprint to run on Miami. I think it's going to be Texas A&M is going to need to have methodical drives down the field. Miami's defense is great at preventing big plays. Texas A&M's offense is not great at generating big plays. Miami
Right,
number 2 in the country in time of possession. So it just underscores the fact that Texas A&M, they can't be getting cute. They should really minimize their deep shots because again, Miami's DBs will pick those off. I think they need to have 4 or 5 yards of play all the
yeah.
way down the field, demoralize Miami, get up early and watch them collapse in on themselves. You can go ahead, click my pick. I think
Of
I've kind
course.
of
And Kev, one thing I want to ask you, I think from what you said, it's pretty clear you're going to go Texas A&M. But say one of these teams were to go down by like 17 points at any point in the game, and there's let's say a quarter and a half left to play. Carson Beck, Marcel Reed, who do you trust more?
I'll take the guy who came back 30-3 down at half,
There it
especially
is.
home. I mean, home field advantage always helps with the
Yeah.
comeback.
Oh my God. And that's why I think it's pretty obvious we're in lockstep in this one.
I'd
Um,
actually also like to add my pick for an under. I think under
and under.
51.5.
No,
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah, definitely. You got anything else to add?
Do.
Well, the only other
Oh,
thing
wait,
I
no,
would have to
one last
say,
thing. Do you see that note I have, under Texas A&M? They're in the
yes.
current storylines. Do you
Oh
understand what
yeah,
that
no,
means?
I agree with that big time about how this could be like a good run for them, and like that was a wake up punch in the mouth, so to speak. I think that was a good loss to have. I do, and it's Texas. Was a team that came alive at the second half of the season. We've both been saying that, so
Texas at
I'm
home, dangerous, took out
yeah, very
Oklahoma. Yeah.
dangerous. Arch Manning next year, gonna love to see what his development is like in the offseason. I'm gonna just say that. Um, okay. Before we get to the next one, everybody, thank you for sticking it out and watching for the 7 or so minutes of this video. Bless up. We are going to be doing college basketball starting next week and also some other bowl games potentially, depending on how we look. I always love watching the Pop Tarts Bowl, even though a little bit of the wind has been taken out of watching bowl games now with the CFP being what it is. It just in my personal opinion. But that being said, please like and subscribe, guys.
And shout out Buzz Williams, Texas
Shout out
A&M
Buzz
basketball
Williams.
coach,
That's
so
right. All right, let's get into the next one.